Good morning, good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your cold Kansas City Saturday morning. What's happening, y'all? Man, feeling good, feeling great. Yeah, me too. Retweet. Do y'all still use Twitter?
Yes.
I'm on there for jokes. Yeah.
One wrong if he puts up that paywall. What's up with the so now every like normal everybody's normal now.
Snagged in the chat.
We know I tweeted this yesterday. We know who's paying. Who's paying the dollars?
Oh, we knew before then. Shit, last month. All you have to do is click on the blue check and it tells you.
Oh, you can click on Twitter again?
Yeah.
Click on it and it says Twitter Blue user.
Oh, okay. A lot of frauds out there, huh?
I wouldn't say fraud, but I mean, they're paying for the access.
What access do you get?
I guess the verified is supposed to do what it did for everybody else before. It puts you, get you more visible. So, like, takes the limiter off of your tweets.
It's crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about today. Friend of the show, KC native Terry Nooner. He's named the head coach of Wichita State. We'll dive into that. Casey Kern. They fired their head coach Matt Potter just hours ahead of their Wednesday evening game. It's not a surprise. Brian Davis emerges late in the Commanders deal with the reported $7 million bid. And he was going to be happy to talk about this when Jalen Hurts and the Eagles agreed to terms on a 5-year, $255 million contract. Mm-hmm. We have all that plus coming up in about 30 minutes. We'll dive into our sneak of the week. Let's get to our headlines.
Friend of the show, Casey native Terry Nooner, named head coach at Wichita State. He was announced as the new head women's basketball coach at Wichita State on Monday. Your thoughts on this week?
I mean, I love it. It looks like Wichita State is definitely going in a new direction. Is this their first black head coach?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So, love it for him. He's didn't I don't think it in 2016 or so. Yeah. You just love it for the local guy. He's been an active name in basketball around here for as long as I can remember. So congrats to him. Round of applause, all of that.
Definitely. Of course, he has some experience at the Division One level and was a part of the Kansas recent run to the tournament. Steve, how do you feel? I mean, shout out Kansas. I'm gonna root for it regardless.
Like he's very well respected in the coaching ranks. You guys don't know, he went to Raytown High School, graduated from there. He was on the same team as now LA Clipper, former Laker, Tyronn Lue. So he has a lot of respect from the NBA to college to high school.
Yeah.
He's been around the block, to say the least. He's coached in Texas, Maryland, Alabama, Southern Illinois. Had a stint with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's when Tyronn was there, Kevin Love, and Kyrie, all those guys. So he's been around, and I've been knowing Noonan for a long time. I call him Noonan.
Yeah.
But I've been knowing him for a long time, and I'm happy for him. Excited that he's getting his head coaching, and it's not far. Like because before I've always when I was coaching high school boys, we went to Illinois, like SIU Carbondale. There was a tournament there, and I saw in the crowd. I guess he was coaching the girls, so their assistant coach. I saw in the crowd. He walked up to the bench. He was like, "Hey man," I'm like, "What you doing here?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm coaching up here." So it's good to see that he's right down the street, Wichita State, a couple hour drive. He can come back to KC. So he's always had those jobs that have been, a few hundred miles, 1,000 miles away from home. So I'm happy for him.
Another Kansas City coach, when it's not looking as hot for him. Kansas City current fire head coach Matt Potter hours ahead of Wednesday evening game. just hours before the Challenge Cup soccer match against the Houston Dash, the current announced they're firing up the head coach. Cue your thoughts.
I think we really want to know your thoughts on this one. I mean, last year we saw the team do well. This year, how was the team? Like that?
In the home opener, it wasn't looking too hot, but it looks like they're starting to pull it together. I mean, it was kind of to a shock. I feel like it's so soon for it to be blamed on how the team's doing. And I know that there's been like the recent allegations with players of last year that are coming out. And so I know the Current did put out a statement that there was nothing to investigate there. I don't know if there was any ties or anything to that, but I don't know that it had to speak to their records so far. I feel like it's too soon to be the judge of that.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see what goes down. I mean, for it to be so sudden and so urgent, I think it had to be something that needed to be acted on immediately, but I have no idea as to what it could be about.
And do you think part of any part of this is trying to find that coach in the future for the stadium?
It could be. Again, I think it's still too soon. I mean, with them having last year under their belt and it being a successful season, I think it's too soon to really dismiss anybody of the program that they're not ready or that it wouldn't be as successful as they plan on it being. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what the story is that comes out on this.
And you mentioned a little bit about the news that would transpire last season, early on this season with I think it was the third round pick, the mom of that player coming out just talking about the mistreatment of the organization where the player had to pay for her own flight to Kansas City.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he talked about some other things that the commissioner was asked about, and it was kind of brought to light when we were at the home opener. So instead of talking about the home opener, the commissioner was asked about, what about the mistreatment from the organization? What can be done about that? And the mother coming out and talking about it. And the commissioner, she answered. She said, "Yeah, there's some things that we're working on. I mean, I understand that the women's sports. This is across the board. This isn't just soccer." And they were winless going into Wednesday. They did get their win on Wednesday, so their first win of the season. So I think you have so much going for you as an organization, and they're forward thinkers. New stadium, like you said, Q, and I just think that you want to nip this in the bud before it becomes fourth over. If that makes sense. Yeah, I think you just want to push this team forward, and maybe he just isn't the guy. They have to obviously see some things for them to, because they were in the championship last year. Yeah, from going from a contender to now dropping to I think they're in 11th or 12th place. So you had to see there had to be some truth to that mistreatment for that player, and there were some things that I guess ownership didn't like. So they had to part ways.
And in the statements, they did say issues around his leadership and employment responsibilities. So that could speak to, the transition.
Which lets me know further if they say his employment responsibilities. Like, you're responsible for paying for this young lady's ticket and making sure that she's fine.
The coach is?
Oh, yeah. If
and not team management?
If that's in his responsibility. Contracts are different, and this is a smaller organization. I mean, it's a smaller organization, right? So, like, his contract might be, you're bringing in this player after we draft him, you're going to make sure, or you try to make to where he dropped the ball on everything. Of course, in management, they could even make him be the person that falls on the sword, right? The scapegoat. Yeah. Because they brought in their manager or president was the Lakers in the Lakers front office, so they brought her in to at the end of the last season and going into this season. So I think she understands like big time of what things, implications of a mom coming out, things like that. So I think the Current are going to be fine. I really do.
Do you think it is a game changer on whether they turn the beginning of the season losing to a winning season? Like, is this fire going to be that much of a game changer?
I mean, it sounded like it was Wednesday. I didn't catch any of the match on Wednesday, but if his management, leadership skills, if his leadership skills aren't cutting it I do see them going a different direction, especially with the new stadium coming. I mean, this opening day, you have this debacle.
Yeah.
The stadium's supposed to be open next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want anything overshadowing that. You want a new slate. And I can understand that as a team wanting that new slate. I just didn't know he was that bad at the top of the season. Like, how do you not? Well, and I guess the mom had just came out, but how do you not know that previous to the season?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I think there would have been more question marks. Like, you go from a winning season to now you're getting fired. Like, that was just a straw that broke the camel's back. The fact that they were losing. Yeah.
Now, Brian Davis emerges late in the Commanders' deal with a reported $7 billion bid. The Davis is a former Duke basketball player who spent 2 years in the NBA and has offered $7 billion for the team. His bid reportedly remains in play.
It's weird, because you're outbidding the likes of the 76ers owner, Magic Johnson, that ownership group, which Magic Johnson's ownership goes so far as the Dodgers, one of the biggest organizations in Major League Baseball, right?
did he sell some of the Dodgers?
I think he still has some ownership in the Dodgers. And then you have 76ers owner, who, 76ers playoff team, been around a long time. So, and then they have another partner that was in there within that ownership group. So to come with a $7 billion deal for the Washington Commanders, I don't think they're valued that at all. You're paying over the price for.
You're in the nation's capital. So it's somewhat of a tourist city.
Yeah.
And if you can bring some new excitement to that team, yes, John Wall, Bradley Beal, over the course of the last, what were they together, about 8 years or so. I'm sure they brought some sort of excitement to it, but even with new ownership coming to that city, into the Commanders facility, new name, new slate, there could be something that, and not necessarily something, but there could be some moves made that increases the valuation of the team. So getting that star here, like the Chiefs organization is definitely an example, because over the last 5 years, just the years that they have made doing things different. And I think that's what helps with new ownership. With the Chiefs, I think it was more of the GM than anything. But you can get there. And you look at the owner that had the Clippers before he got fired, before he got pushed out. Sterling. But being able to push the valuation of the team just up higher, gaining those few pieces of Chris Paul's, and I think it could happen. The Commanders is not really a cool name, and I don't want to walk around wearing a hoodie that's yellow and burgundy. But it could get there. And $7 billion is a high price tag for the nation's capital, a tourist city.
So what's the highest?
The highest value team is probably, if it isn't the Patriots, I don't know who it would be.
All right, I'm gonna read you 10. So you got the Cowboys value team at $7.6 billion. The Rams 5.9 billion. The Patriots 5.8. New York Giants 5.3. 49ers 5.18. Bears 5 billion. Jets 4 billion. 4.8 billion, and then the Commanders 4.7 billion.
And that's, I'm not saying just 3 billion more, but I think
big B's, not the little ones.
Yeah, and I think you can push that direction, because the Patriots valuation comes from being good for so long, especially over the last 20 years. The last 2 or 3 with Mac Jones back here. Probably takes that.
Enough.
Woke him up.
Enough.
Monster.
But no, I think they can get there again new ownership, just new everything, like a totally new mentality. Even looking at the current, you take the current, trying to take that new mentality with a new coach, and push the team forward. I think it could happen in DC.
They gotta first things first. They gotta win. Like if he's able to get this
No,
team,
yeah.
they gotta win. Like
Yeah.
you can't keep putting a mediocre product out on the field, right? Like you gotta be able to push the needle some way, and that has to equate to wins.
And where are they at in the draft?
I don't look it up.
But I think again you get a solid draft pick. They still have Chase Young. They're probably not short of at the quarterback right now, at the quarterback position right now. But if you get somebody that can be electric over the next 2 or 3 years, I mean, yes, you could increase that valuation.
So they pick they have pick 16 in the first round, and they don't pick again until the second round. So they have one pick in the first, and then they have looking to see what they have in the second. They have pick number 47 in the second round. So yeah, I mean you get one first, 1, 2, and then you don't get another one, or you get pick 97 in the third. So I mean they've got a draft will. They have Derek Bieniemy, who understands
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
and somewhat how to draft. But you got
No, you definitely do have to win. And again, like with a lot of the new,
because what's their division? That NFC East.
yeah, they're
With the
in the
Eagles,
East.
Cowboys.
Eagles, Cowboys, Giants.
You could at least come in second at the very minimum.
And that,
I mean, because the Eagles, I don't think they're gonna like.
I mean, there's a chance. It's football.
Yeah.
Not everybody stays healthy. Not going, all of that. But you look at the Cowboys; they're always that team that's right there. So you have Cowboys, Eagles right now. The Giants with the overpaid Danny Dimes. I don't know how he performs this season, especially with that contract being comfortable. He may wet the bed. You don't know, but then he may come out balling. I don't know what pieces they have put around him. Yeah, I don't know what pieces they have put around him, but with Eric Bieniemy there could definitely be some that's the word I was looking for. There's a culture change going on.
8 picks total for there.
8 picks. That's quite a considerable amount of draft capital.
I mean, depending on what you get, right? Like, I mean, you could strike gold. I mean, and get
Always strike gold.
I mean, you look at 6th, 7th round picks that the Chiefs have been having.
Look at their past few running backs.
Yeah, exactly. So you just gotta strike with an iron side. Yeah.
Now, Jalen is talking big M's. Jalen Hurts, Eagles agreed to terms on 5-year, $255 million contract extension. Q, how you feel?
I love it for him. I mean, it secures up the future. He's the highest paid, but I think his contract was probably more so backloaded than it was front. I think it was. But even still, the Eagles still as an organization, I think he had the lowest cap hit this year of quarterbacks in the league. So they are playing it pretty smart as far as money wise and having some available to pay rookies, this incoming class, whatever it is. But they have to keep that magic going.
They do have the no trade clause, and it's the first no trade clause in Eagles history too. So
I mean, I like it because you look at the body of work that he has since he started 2 seasons ago, the last couple of games, and he's a special type of player. And we've seen that pretty much his whole career, from high school going into college, leaving Alabama, going to Oklahoma. He's faced his adversity, but now that he's in the league, he has. It seems like he has a solid grip on the type of career that he could have, and it's still being so early in his career. Last year could be an anomaly, but looking at the work ethic, looking at the way the Eagles paid him hardly with any resistance. You just hope the future is bright there.
And that's it right there. Like you hit the nail on the head. No resistance. Like teams are getting, as long as you have some competent people in your front office, they're getting smarter because you look at what Baltimore Ravens are going through right now.
Baltimore's just stupid.
They could have been out of this situation that they're in now, and they got out in front of it, right? Like they could have paid him 2 years and paid Lamar Jackson 2 years, 2 seasons ago, and now they're a small fish trying to swim upstream, right? Because I don't this Odell Beckham Jr. signing, I think that was just a band-aid on a huge
all it was, yes.
And so I just think another reason to try to get him to take less than what he's valued, than what his value actually is.
Baltimore has never shown that they want him for the future. And I say that because when you look at the Chiefs, even after signing Mahomes, they still went out and got free agents. You still went and brought in Juju. You still went and brought in some defensive pieces to get younger. Baltimore hasn't done that. They haven't done anything to show that they want to build around Lamar. And it's always looked like they just kind of thrown teams together, and then they expect them to go be Superman.
But I'll credit Mahomes though with this, the fact that it was a $500 million deal, right? 497, 98, whatever it was. But a lot of it was the NFL term, right? Mechanisms. Like we're able to move these mechanisms. Like basically, layman's terms, they're moving money around.
Of course.
Every year they're moving money. He's getting money put in his pocket every year. So it frees up some money. So Lamar, I don't think he's willing to do that. Like he saw what what's my guy in Cleveland? Deshaun Watson. He saw what Deshaun Watson. He wants all his money like guaranteed right now. Mahomes didn't say, "Oh, I want all this to be guaranteed." He said, "I want to do." He said, "I want to do some team friendly stuff, so that way we'll still have money to bring in people." But I know I need people to win.
But he also signed a team.
Of course.
So
Lamar,
again,
that.
it shows you the commitment they had to him.
True.
We're going to keep you here, and then we're also going to try to build around you.
You gotta win too.
You do have to win.
Yeah.
And winning takes those pieces. It doesn't take Lamar Jackson doing it by himself. And not necessarily by himself, but why do you have a quarterback that is dynamic as he is, that can throw the ball, that can run the ball, that can make your offense almost any style of offense that you wanted, but then you don't add pieces around it. Like his number one receiver was Hollywood Brown, a guy that is about as big as a high school cheerleader, and not even to go that far, but like you don't have a guy to the ball to that you can count on. Like Hollywood Brown's size, it doesn't take him out of the game, but that's not a number one receiver. You still need that big body to throw to, and that's when the Chiefs went out and got a Juju. Not saying Juju's a big guy, but he's still going to make a catch in traffic. You have the Travis Kelce, that's the big body that he can throw, that Pat can throw to. They gave Lamar a tight end, and that was it. And you hate it for him because there's no feature back. There's no combo at receiver that you would want to see. And so, yes, they have struggled the last couple of seasons because they don't add that around him. So,
I mean, you had Mark Ingram. I mean, he wasn't slouched. Yeah,
you have Mark Ingram in year 10 or 12. Like, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not adding anyone around him. Patrick and Travis, they gel so well together. One, because they have chemistry together for as long as they've been together. But they're also somewhat young in this league. I mean, they're veterans at this point, but you allowed them to come up together. And around that, you put those pieces. You put the Tyreek next to the Sammy Watkins, next to, there's a couple of different pieces you put around. Baltimore hasn't done that for Lamar. So again, if I'm going to be here, I want all of my money. And we're not like they've had what 5-6 seasons now to show what they can do. They haven't done it yet for it. So yeah, my price tag is gonna be high until you show something. And so again, yes, Odell was a band-aid, but Odell's coming off 2 injuries.
Now, Buffalo Bills Brian reveals official cause of his collapse while announcing NFL return. 4 months after suffering cardiac arrest during the game, the safety announced he will take the football field once again, and then was sharing news about his collapse, and it was commotio cordis, caused by the immediate impact, and then 5 to 7 seconds later you fall out. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
We're going to talk about another player in a little bit that is on the brink of retirement. Right? Like, I think, and let me back up by paraphrasing by saying, I understand like the fact that you're the breadwinner of your family. I understand like you may come from like not being a millionaire now that you've touched some money, and you want that revenue stream to keep coming in. However, like something like this, I just don't see. It is just me talking, but I just don't see myself going and continuing on with a condition like this. Doctors say you take another hit, you'll be fine. But at the end of the day, there's still that what if. And I understand that it's always a what if with all other athletes and sports and injuries. You can be driving a car or whatever, and there's still that what if. But your likelihood, since it's already happened to you, is much more greater than it just being someone who just is a regular person, if that makes sense. So for me, I just don't like it. I feel like he should, he's got a bunch of money from what was it, the GoFundMe that was good with a couple $1 million. Take that, parlay that into being a public speaker, doing something else to be able to move your bank account.
What was he in second, third year? I think it was the second year. Yeah. No, you go back out there. You spend your life playing a game. I mean, yeah, you almost died, but you're still alive. Your heart's still ticking.
But I have to agree.
We talk about it all the time. Like these guys are laying their lives on the line for little and nothing. But then there's some guys that are laying their life on the line for millions. Like he's not to that point yet, right? Yeah, and he hasn't made it yet. So what I'm saying is like he could get to a point where he's not able to do anything.
So the chance to have that miraculous story, you just want to shoot at that.
I think it's the condition and how, like, I don't care how freakish you can name it. I feel like freakish isn't the right term for that, but it's like your heart that you're messing with. This isn't an ACL. This isn't a broken leg or something like that to where, yes, you could still recover. You might have a little limp going forward if you come back too soon or whatever. Like, this is your heart. Like, I feel like that's where it's like, I have to agree with Steve. Like, why not go into something that you're still passionate about, or even shedding light on the same topic that you could still make money in? You've like not to say seen, no. I don't know what your type of lifestyle is, but enough to be able to be solid.
And let me read y'all something real quick. So what he said in quotes, it's a direct blow at a specific point in your heartbeat that causes cardiac arrest. Exactly. And 5 seconds later, you fall out. I'm explaining. That's pretty much what everyone's saying in reception this year. Yeah. And that's the leading cause of death in young athletes across all sports.
Yeah, definitely. And you have that chance of that happening. But what are the chances that it happens? And it's very rare. Football.
Football
It's
not golf.
There
it's not
is
swim, Q.
No, yes, there is a chance, but at what point on the field is he going to take that exact same hit at the exact same moment? His heart is, beating, however it happens. I think the chances are very slim. So yes, I'm going to take that chance to go back out there. And I mean, you mentioned other body parts. I mean, your heart is a muscle too.
But he's also a defensive guy. Yeah. He's not a lineman. Even if he was a defensive lineman, right? Like he's also got to take it, wrap up. Like he's going to be using his chest to tackle. Like he's not a receiver where he can curl like he's that's so. But his chest is his moneymaker, so to speak. Like
wear a flak jacket. I mean, I think there's other ways around it, other protections that he can take.
Take the impact.
And and I again, I think with the technology that is within football equipment now, yeah, I don't think he's scared at all. I think everyone else is more nervous for him than he is.
Yeah,
And you could also condition your heart. I'm sure he's been stress testing like crazy.
He ain't took no blows to the chest.
He hasn't. He hasn't. But again, I think that it's a freak accident. And I think it happened. I don't know if I mean for him, I hope that for anyone, I hope it doesn't happen again. But you still run that risk, and you don't grow up playing a sport and not be around it if you can.
And I understand, like a lot of these guys get these insurance policies, right? Like they have sports insurance for NFL professional athletes. So we're like, hey, if I'm never ever able to play again because of injury or because of death or whatever, there's going to be a substantial amount of money that I'm able to get, depending on what your contract is or your value at or whatever. I don't know how it actually works for the terms, but so I'm sure he has that. So at what point though do you say, hey? And it could be, hey, I'm just trying to get to here because I don't know what the bargaining agreement is to where you get a pension with the league. Is it 3 years? Yeah. So maybe he's just like, hey, let me just ride this one out my third year, and after that, I'm gonna call it quit. I mean, that could be it too. So I don't know, just to get to that pension, right?
I mean, if I'm him, I'm still playing the game. I grew up with heart problems, and that was always the overarching thing. Like, hey, your heart's probably not the best, but again, you can condition your heart. So, I hope the best for him because I want to see him back out there. I want to see that comeback story.
I want to see the story, but it makes me so nervous. Like the anxiety is real for it. Like, and I feel like you can't say that that's not playing in his mind in the back of his head when you're playing. And I just remember like me recovering from injuries. Like they were like, if like you're more apt to get re-injured again if you go in timid, if you go into a contact bracing yourself, stuff like that. So it's like how mentally I'm blown at like how he can play at a completely normal rate, not be nervous, nothing like that, and not be thinking about that in the back of your head.
Big cojones.
Definitely. Now, Dolphins QB2 says he's considered retirement for a time after the concussion 2022 season. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
It's interesting because we're just talking about another guy who, could be done. Right? Like I don't know. I think he should. Sometimes you got to call it a wrap. Sometimes you got to say it's a wrap. And he takes one more concussion, and it could be not to where he dies, but to just where your brain doesn't function as it should.
Yeah. So, and I mean his. In a couple of years, his brain could turn into mashed potatoes and start leaking out of his ears. But he still wants to play the game. And I, when you talk about football as a religion, it's almost that for some people that play the game. Yes, for some people that watch the game as well, not wanting to be detached from the sport. But again, it's something that these guys have trained for their whole lives, and we all know what it takes, the type of dedication it takes to make it to the pro level, but then to stay there. And it's tough to give that up. We could talk about Tom Brady. Tom Brady has went through knee injuries, well, maybe not shoulder injuries, but I know he's had one knee injury with our Pollard. Yeah, like there's a lot of injuries you have to overcome, but I think as an athlete, you just take that in stride. Like if your body feels good enough, if you pass the tests, you want to be out there. And we know the NFL is not, 100% on testing. We know how they throw in their curves in brain injury testing, but I think he wants to try it out, and I it could be an anomaly last season. You know, all the concussions he faced. Maybe he needed some time for his brain to heal, which I think might be. But if he's cleared and he wants to go out there, I leave it up to him. I wouldn't want to take that abuse.
You don't want to take that risk. It's just a crazy risk. Like I said, he's made enough money. He has made enough money. He's made plenty money. Like, you're a first round draft pick. You've made enough money. Go live your life, bro. Like, once you get over a certain point, a couple $1 million, you can buy some other things to do to make more money.
But when you grow up seeing guys like Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl, that kind of makes you go out there trying to win. Like, there's a lot of guys that he's a lot better than, and he probably wants to live his dreams. That's why I don't think I take anything from him. My issue is always with teams who get to covering up injuries and testing and all that. But I like seeing these guys still want to come out there and play. I just hope they listen to their bodies a lot more.
Nice. Now we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss 5 NFL players suspended for violating league's gambling policy. Keep it locked in. This is the show. We'll be right back.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City! KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City!
FPS Security is here to secure Greater KC protection where you need them most. Social events, birthday parties, corporate events, weddings, small businesses, and more. Call FPS Security at 816-379-3600 or visit fpssecuritykc.com. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Reliable, fast, and professional service.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to The W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Message us and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, 5 NFL players suspended for violating league's gambling policy, including Lions 2022 first round pick. Q, your thoughts on this one?
Ooh, so they're losing picks? That's a tough one. And the Lions are losing picks?
No, there was that pick. They're not losing pick. It's that pick that their last year's pick was one of the ones that's going to be suspended now.
Oh, it's one of the. Okay, yeah. I thought the team was losing picks. I'm like, wow. No. But I mean, that's crazy. Over gambling?
Yep. Gambling on sports. So there's 2 guys that are only going to be suspended 6 games. And those 2 were the ones that were not betting on NFL football games, but they were betting on college football games. Now, the league policy is gambling on college football games is not, a suspension type thing, but you were doing it from the facility. So if you're doing it from the facility, then that requires a suspension. Now, gambling on football, NFL games, that's you get the Calvin Ridley treatment.
Yeah.
You're going to be suspended a full year. So
yeah, no, because I mean we all saw blue chips. I mean there's some red flags when you're betting on the sport that you're actually playing in. You know, in the sport and the league that you're playing in, but for college football, I mean,
but how stupid can you be? I mean, like really, you saw what happened to another guy that was betting on NFL football games. Like, there's some things that you can and can't do in sports. This is one of the ones, and I get like it's stupid rule. Like the NFL and these leagues are making money off gambling.
Yes,
like there's billions of dollars each year. Like we can go over to KCK right now and place a bunch of bets on some of these playoff NBA games be happening tonight, right? We can bet on who's going to be the first pick in the NFL draft. All that is money generating, and it's all going somewhere. It's going to these leagues, these owners, the commissioners, all through their pockets. Money's transferring hands. But then once a player decides to pick up his phone, download DraftKings, and this isn't sounds like an infomercial, right? But pick up his phone, download DraftKings, and make that bet. It's a problem.
But for college, like Q said, for college football, that basically has no bearing on you anymore. You obviously aren't playing in college anymore. It may or may not even be the school that you attended. Like, what difference does it make on something lower? Like, it's for me if I wanted to go watch a high school game or something. So why couldn't I'm so far
you
past
betting on
that,
high school?
Why couldn't
you betting on high school
not
games?
That you're best
not the
betting on
kids,
it,
Jazz.
Not betting on it, but like why it has no bearing on me. Like I'm not a coach. I have no ties to the organization in any way. Like, what difference does it make if I bet on a level lower than me?
They feel like you have an inside track, an insider scoop, because you're a part of the league. You're part of a professional organization which has ties to college. They feel like you have an inside scoop to where you can make yourself some money.
So then catch me on that inside scoop.
Right.
Don't preemptively punish me because of what might happen. And
the rule is a rule. Just go place your bet at home. Like, why you got to do it from the facility?
Well, yeah, and that's
go do
it at home. Stupid part.
Yeah.
Like, if you at the facility, like, now that could look a little.
But catch this: not only did these players, but there are some coaches that were fired because they placed bets inside of the. Now, how they know? Like, how does?
I'm like, are they checking the Wi-Fi networks?
How does DraftKings know if I'm placing a bet? And if I'm
email address, location.
If I'm at Barstool Sports at Hollywood Casino, how does it know if I'm placing a bet there?
Yeah, location. And you're doing it from your phone. That's point.
Okay,
drop bomb on you with location. And that's.
So if I'm at One Arrowhead Drive, whenever betting becomes legal in Missouri, right now it's not. But if I'm at One Arrowhead Drive, they'll know if I'm at One Arrowhead Drive.
They'll know exactly where you're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the stupid part. I don't think the stupid part is the fact that he placed a bet on a college game or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's the location more than anything.
But the guys that did place bets on the NFL games, Adam Garcia said on the Lions Wi-Fi. You probably did.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's probably on the Wi-Fi and everything.
Yeah. So where's that one? You big dummy. So like the guys that placed it on NFL, like that's the no. Like that's you've seen other guys go through this. It's like if I touch the stove and tell you that it's hot and burn my hand, y'all gonna go press it too? Put your hand on the stove.
And if you know sports, you know Pete Rose. You know the whole Pete Rose scandal. So it's like, there's some murky waters in there, but not at the facility, man.
Guys trying to get to the bag. I'm telling you.
Tiger Woods undergoes fusion surgery to treat post-traumatic arthritis in foot out indefinitely. Another retirement conversation. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
Golf, and we talked about it earlier this week. Golf is one of those things where you're supposed to be able to play till you're 80, 90, 100 years old, right? Like, long as you are able to stand, walk, and breathe, you can swing a golf club. Back problems and all. I hate it for Tiger Woods. And it's the fact that we want to see a black golfer do well, like so bad. Like there's other black golfers out there, but Tiger Woods has just been that been at the forefront, been the GOAT of all, like we just want to see him do well. And his fall off from grace has just been crazy. Like he's not been able to just bow out gracefully.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like MJ won, he went to the Wizards, but he was still able to leave on his own terms. Like I don't want Tiger Woods leaving golf without it being Tiger saying, "Oh, I'm done. I've had enough. I've had a hell of a run. I'm done." I don't want to see him leave golf like this.
You want to see him leave like Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, I want to see him leave putting on that green jacket.
I mean, Jack Nicholson. What is his name?
Yeah, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. I hate it for him because it just seems like he's getting old and becoming not necessarily a relic of the past, but he's not able to be that Tiger that we know and that we are familiar with. And now we're becoming familiar with this injured Tiger and not being able to finish tournaments. And I hate it for him because I think sport like this is not as strenuous on your body.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly there's some issues going on, with his back, torso area, and legs.
After
like
the
he's
car
just,
accident, yeah.
He's had a tough time, and you hate it for him.
Definitely. Dylan Brooks defends his LeBron James trash talk in Lakers Grizzly game 2.
Oh my goodness!
I don't care.
I can't wait for
old.
this one.
Let's hear what he had to say post game.
There are some people, Lakers are making that run, they get up to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He should have been saying that earlier on. But, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. I pride myself on, what I do is defense and taking on any challenge that's on the board. If it's LeBron, if it's AD, if it's whoever. And I play my heart out. So, he knows that. Most of the NBA knows that. And I know my guys know that. And I try to get him on that same type of time every time we touch that floor.
What did he say?
Huh?
What did he say to you?
When?
You said something. Yeah.
Oh, he just said, you're done for getting that foul, for 4th foul. And then, I play hard. I got to find a way to, not get the fouls on like Reeves on the transition or Rui when he's driving. Use those fouls, for LeBron and AD and, the guys when I'm guarding, especially when, refs want to call it ticky-tack stuff. We've been watching the playoffs and stuff's hard-nosed. And, they're finding ways to, bring back that regular season stuff. I ain't for that. I'm here for the playoffs. So I hope they,
The ultimate LeBron hater, Steve, what do you think?
Look, I mean, I'm.
You love it.
No. I think Dylan Brooks is dead wrong. I think, and I had this conversation with Broderick. Broderick didn't like what I had to say, but I feel like you should reach, and I have 2 points to make. When you're LeBron's stat of his caliber, right? You reached a hierarchy that guys shouldn't go right here. Like they're not gonna say, "Oh, he's old." It's basically calling you a bum. It's like, you old, you can't guard me. I don't respect you till you give me 40. Basically, I ain't respecting your game right now. Like, you're a bum. He shouldn't do that.
I mean,
like
that's trash talk.
LeBron should be at that caliber. Trash talk or no trash talk. In an interview, you don't go there. It stays on the court. Like we saw Tom Brady, for instance, got Tyrann Mathieu going at Brady on the field. But after the game, Tom Brady's still the GOAT. I still respect him. I respect his game. We leaving between these lines. Now, my other point is when you look at how MJ, when he was on his way out, even Wizards MJ, we didn't hear guys, even though, they're going to go at you, AI on for my survival.
No,
right?
AI,
Like, we didn't hear AI say, "Oh, you're old. I crossed you. You're a bum." Right? Like, we didn't hear him say, there was still that ultimate respect of this MJ. I know you don't want me to go there, but Kobe, when he was on his last leg, literally, he we didn't hear guys.
No, the league have respect for him.
Yeah, we're not going to hear guys do that. So I just feel like why doesn't LeBron garner that respect of guys like, hey, we not gonna go there with you. We understand that you're 38 years old. We understand that you've done a lot in this league, scoring title and all, but playoffs or no playoffs, I mean, he just should be able to garner that kind of respect. That's
you could also tell he's a wrestling fan. It's funny to see because like he's standing there looking like he's about to run into the ring. What do they call it, Broderick? He's a heel. He's a heel. That's exactly what he is. And I think that's what it is. I think he's trying to not necessarily do like Pat Beverly did, some years back. With
even
the Rockets.
Pat, that was my point earlier. Even Pat Bev, he gonna leave it between the lines like Brian. That's Brian. Like I'm not gonna.
No, Pat Bev be talking in the media. And maybe he didn't do it towards the Kobe's and
not
LeBrons.
saying that he's old.
Yeah,
but,
he didn't do that.
There's a guys that's up there that you ain't gonna
But no, he's asking for it, and I think we see vintage Brian come out.
Think so? I'm here for it. Like I want to see it.
Yeah,
because I want to see it. As much as I talk about LeBron, I still want to see him do well.
Because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and he's gonna put 40 on the head top. And Dylan Brooks is gonna have to try to get in his head on the court. He's gonna have to be an agitator. He's gonna have to try to like pull him out of his game, and that's LeBron. Good luck.
Like Dylan Brooks, you're not Lance Stevenson, bro. Like Lance was able to get in Brian, like blowing kisses to him. You're not that. Come on.
Now we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate or Love It segment. Kick it off with the sneakers of the week. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
FPS Security is here to secure greater KC protection where you need them most. Social events, birthday parties, corporate events, weddings, small businesses, and more. Call FPS Security at 816-379-3600 or visit fpssecuritykc.com. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Reliable, fast, and professional service.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocery, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag #TalkAboutItMessage, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
Yes, sir.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off the sneakers of the week, we have the women's Air Jordan 1 high washed pinks.
These are cool. Like, I like them. I really do.
I dig them.
Yeah.
Run the Jewels Nike SB Dunk Lows.
Fire. I
Not
like
a fan. It's giving Blues Clues.
Yeah, I don't really like
Blues
these.
Clues.
I'm good. Run the Jewels Nike Dunk High.
I'm feeling these. I really am.
Hate it.
Yeah, that's a no on
I really,
both of the
I really
running
am.
shoes.
This is another one. So these and the lows are kind of those Killer Mike.
Yeah, Killer Mike
yeah,
and I forget his P something P.
Yep.
LP.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, pass. Jordan 13 Retro Black Flints.
Love them.
Yeah.
Love
These
'em.
almost look like classics, but I like these. I like that gray touch on them.
Definitely. Trae Young is NBA's most overrated player per anonymous player poll. Hated or
Oh my gosh. Man,
Overrated?
come on. Yes. I hate the fact that they doing Trey like this.
I mean, he's a walking
Widely-
bucket.
I just feel like he's in a situation right now where he can't get ahead. Atlanta is he wants out of there.
Yeah, it's a poor franchise.
He just, I don't know. He's caught in that situation where as a matter of fact, James Harden in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that kind of situation. So once he goes to a better team, I think he'll be fine.
But he's widely considered one of the worst defenders in the game. So
I mean, he's undersized. I can give you that. They used to
Sorry.
say that about Steph.
That's all right.
Still a walking bucket.
Yeah, he's still gonna give you 30. Give up 15, give you 30. I mean, whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Ask Knick fans.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Texas high school football coach resigns after hitting players with a wooden handle. Hate it or love it.
I mean, he
Old school.
He should know. I
Yeah.
mean, in this day and age, he should know.
Definitely.
Like that's just
He said the wooden handle is attached to a Nerf football used for drills. An incident took place April 6th.
yeah, you not striking.
You ain't
people's
getting it
kids.
right. If you can dodge if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a football.
And he gonna be dodging employment.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says NBA's in-season tournament to feature different uniforms and finals being played at a neutral site.
This is gonna bring a lot of viewers to the league. Like an in-season tournament is gonna be kind of dope.
Did anybody ask for this though? Like, is this?
They're gonna get more money for me.
But-
Players.
But we already struggle with the load management stuff. So
Yeah,
what
like-
makes this going to be any?
What is preventing this from being the Pro Bowl?
Money, incentives. You incentivize people with money. You go win this in-season tournament, and I mean, then you're able to do other things, right? Like, so I think it'll be dope, especially these other uniforms. Get rid of the All-Star game because that's kind of going downhill, and put this in-season tournament in, and you'll be fine.
Tom Brady reportedly threatens lawsuit over AI-generated video. Hate it or love it.
Y'all got to go watch this Tom Brady video.
I haven't
Like,
seen
it's
it.
on
I didn't
YouTube.
see
It's
Yeah.
like it sounds just like him. It's funny. It really is.
AI is gonna get scary
It's definitely
in the next few
scary out
months,
here.
not even in a year.
Yeah, this is really y'all got to go watch it. It's on YouTube. It's dope. Yeah. We definitely appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Remember to interact with us. Hashtag talk about it. Message us, like our pages at the W Show KC on all social media. Remember to keep up with us next week. The NFL draft will be in Kansas City. We'll be at all the events around town. Follow us on social media. Myself, Jazz, Q, Broderick, all of us, the W Show. We out. Till next week.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.